Hello, welcome to another episode of Building for Others, the podcast where you have to actually have something that's not only built but used in the AI space. So we have a lot of companies that actually build products or build something specifically like a strategy or a program inside their organization. And we're really lucky today to have Jennifer Jackson, CMO of Actian. She also goes by JJ, so that's what we're going to call her in this episode here. Joining us today, JJ, welcome to Building for Others. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe a quick 1-2 on your background, and then if you could tell us more about Actian, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me. So, I run marketing at Actian. I've been in the data business for several decades. Makes me old, but it gives me a bit of experience in terms of seeing transformation over the years, in terms of digital transformation, cloud transformation, now AI transformation. So, really built a career in the data space and just really excited to be here. Actian itself, we produce a whole bunch. We have a broad portfolio of databases, data intelligence, and data management solutions. And we're just about to close a deal in the business intelligence space to really cover the whole from sort of raw data to visualization and activation of data. We have name your product, and we probably have a solution for you.
That deal that is going to close, is that an acquisition or is that something else?
It is an acquisition.
Ooh,
We're actually acquiring a company called Jaspersoft, and the deal, I think some of the paperwork's being signed as we speak.
wow, congratulations. Breaking news here.
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
super
exciting.
exciting. Actually, can you tell us a
It's
little bit
exciting.
about the thesis behind that just because it's so new?
Yeah, so the gap, so we really own portions of the entire data value stream in terms of databases that are kind of that raw data, operational data layer, data integration, data intelligence, so data governance, catalog, metadata management. We just bought a conversational AI solution or conversational analytics solution. The piece that was really missing was that visualization layer. So this kind of rounds out everything from data creation to connection to governing, managing, visualizing, activating your data.
And so when a customer or prospect is stepping into a relationship with Actian, are they like trying to cover the full suite of what you offer? Or is it more piecemeal and then they grow into other areas of time? What does that look like?
It depends, right? I think we pride ourselves on meeting customers where they're at. So, in the case of some mid market companies that don't have answers to some of these solutions or problems at all, we can be the entire end to end solution. In cases where they're more mature and already have a stack, we can slot in as needed. We're technology agnostic across the portfolio, so we really, believe that we can help customers with the problem they're experiencing at the moment. But it's really all about helping customers solve their pain point in their moment of need in whatever best way we can.
Well, I know one of the things that you guys obviously have is because you sit across the entire data stack and you're working with so many different customers, you have a really good vantage point to help people in the industry understand how AI is affecting all of that stuff. And not only do you have that perspective, but you actually shared it. You did a recent study in collaboration with another company, I believe. Can you tell us more about like the headlines of that study and then what you tried to answer with it?
Sure. We had a hypothesis that data products and data contracts would help customers or prospects accelerate their AI journey. So we partnered with a company called BARC, which is a research firm based in Germany. They're a fantastic partner of ours. And in the process, we surveyed 300 data professionals around the globe, multiple industries, multiple geographies across APAC, EMEA, and the Americas, really trying to understand if our hypothesis was true. Do companies that have a level of AI maturity, does that correlate to their use of data products and data contracts and sort of vice versa? So we looked at that and we did in fact find that there's a correlation. So our hypothesis was validated and my colleague Emma McGrattan, who's our CTO, she and I have been on tour around the world speaking about the research.
So
So
there's kind of and there's like a if you're good at data, you're also likely good at AI and kind of vice versa relationship there. Is that a way
Well, we
to
found Yeah, we found that companies that had implemented data products and data contracts sort of as a sign of maturity in data management, um, had implemented far more AI projects at scale and in production than those that didn't use data products and data contracts. They're 3.4 times more likely to have multiple, three or more AI projects in production.
I have two reactions to this, and maybe they're in different directions. But I want your take on it. The first reaction is like, is it just like a fantastic use case, being able to access your data with AI, or is it more in the other direction that like software is essentially a front end in front of a database, and like, and the front end is just saving whatever the business practice is as a kind of like way of doing the workflow. And is the database just now kind of getting closer to where people are doing their work than it used to be historically? Does that question make sense? Like, are we seeing kind of the agentic layer is replacing the UI layer in various ways?
I definitely think there's truth to that. um, where we really probed in terms of our research and our findings. So, like as a data company, like we're in the data space, we find that the biggest roadblock for companies to implement AI at scale, right? Like everybody's sort of playing with AI, that's totally normal. But to scale something and move it to large scale production, the challenges tend to be data related. And as a result,
Is that more
and
just
again, this
like
went to our hypothesis, right? Like a data product is a way to package a set of data at a certain level of quality and a certain level of reliability and AI readiness, however you define that, so that you can deploy on top of that data set. Does that make sense?
which is like I guess this maybe is like a little chicken and egg to get a little bit deeper with Doyle, but like, do you find that companies that are more AI native to be more ready to be, I guess, like all in on kind of the data quality side, or vice versa? People that have like thought hard about their data are more likely to be AI leaning.
That's a great question, and I don't know that I have a point of view on it.
Yeah. What's your point of view?
My point of view is probably so I think AI native is ready to try and do anything, right? Like we're seeing just an explosion of ideas and a pace at which it's hard to believe how fast AI native companies are moving. But and maybe this is some of my history coming through, but I really believe that like that practice of understanding your data and taking care of, governing over, really knowing your data will ultimately win the race. Like I think you're better off to take care of that data. Um, those enterprises, financial services, healthcare, the places that have been dependent upon data and governed by regulation, um, they're more mature in their practices, and I think ultimately have an advantage.
It's like interesting because this is anecdotal. So you might say this is not what we see in the space, but what we've been seeing with our like prospects and customers is that data science teams and data analytics teams have been stepping into the role of like leading AI strategy across organizations. We've seen that more and more. So I guess I'll put you on the spot. Like the question that I've thought about is like, is data science hype dead and is that being replaced with AI, or like is it just like the natural evolution of what has been standing up these like data science teams?
Yeah, it feels a bit evolutionary to me, really. Like I don't know that data science and as a practice is completely dead, but AI has sucked the oxygen out of every room and every project and every boardroom and every company
Yep.
around the world. So it's a natural extension to me for someone who understands data the way a data scientist does to lean into and become that AI go-to. Frankly, there aren't enough resources out there today to do everything we want to do with AI. So if you can slot yourself there, it's a natural extension and an evolution that maybe makes your career more exciting over the next decade.
Well, you guys don't just like do these research reports and help out your customers, but you practice what you preach. So you guys acquired, you mentioned this at the top, a conversational AI company. Can you tell us more about that and what you've built as a result of that acquisition?
Yeah, so we've done a couple of acquisitions in the last 2 years that have put us in this spot. The first was a company called Zeenea based in Paris, which was a data catalog or a data discovery platform, so metadata management. So we really got into metadata there. The most recent then conversational analytics or conversational AI acquisition for us was a company called Wobby based in Belgium. And the using those technologies ourselves really has given us a great perspective on what our customers go through as they try to implement some of these solutions. In fact, this morning I was talking with my data as a CMO, trying to understand. I have to do an all hands this week. So I was trying to understand what's our lead story for the week, like or for the quarter. What can I go back to the employees and talk about? So I was asking my data this morning. How many leads have we generated? How many opportunities have been created? And then having that dialogue back and forth to understand what's happening. And that's what our customers are trying to do today, right? And they're trying to do that in whatever, way they are.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
so
go
I
ahead.
was going to say I have that exact project right now. I'm working on pulling everyone's LinkedIn sharing and results from the personal profile. I've got all the company stuff already, but that's actually a thing that I'm this week I'm trying to set up. How do I get all this data from LinkedIn and aggregate it and start telling stories if this topic's working, that
Right.
I haven't solved it yet, but maybe I need to talk to you. So
That's the kind of stuff everybody around the world is doing right now. There's so many possibilities.
So just to like go a bit deeper. So you're what you guys acquired, that is being used internally for you guys, or that's being leveraged externally for your clients, or both?
Both.
Okay.
So
Tell us more about that.
we believe in sort of drinking our own champagne, right? So absolutely, and I'm a huge advocate for that as a marketing person, right? It makes it easier for people to understand
I,
the
I love
tangible nature.
I love drinking your own champagne way more than eating your own dog food.
Yeah, right. It's a better spin on what we all try to do.
That is why you're a marketer.
There you go.
yeah.
But it also it gives my marketers and our sellers a perspective if they can be hands-on with our technology. So we're big believers in that, but of course the end game for us is to sell, create pipeline and bring people into the fold to consume our products just like we do.
And it's kind of replacing the need to know how to write a SQL query and you can chat with your data. And are you seeing it like, is it still mostly it's the data scientists who are using it and they're just faster, or is it just opening up a whole new way for people who had never been able to do this before to like really get at data to now they can access it. They can just go directly instead of, in a ticket queue sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's what's really fun is like you talk about democratization of data, like this is it. The conversational analytics tool which is called our AI Analyst, that we sell to customers, it makes it so easy for someone less technical like myself, right? I have some technical knowledge, but I'm a business person at heart. I can have the conversation that I need to have with the data in my words. I can pressure test that data by asking it to validate things and prove things to
Mhm.
me, and then I walk away with an understanding that, you know, months ago, even like not even that long ago, would have taken weeks maybe for me to get the answers I was looking for. And lots of Excel files and, SQL being written by someone on my team to get the answer for me. So I
We
think opens it up to business users in a way that is really unique and pretty exciting. A little terrifying at times, but pretty exciting.
So how does that fit in line with, because you guys said you're kind of like technology agnostic, right? You'll work with anything. So
Where?
like say we have a customer that's using elvex and they're using it for, a wide variety of different things across like the data stack. But you guys also have the AI analysts. Like how does that get positioned for your customers, those two things working together or maybe not working together?
So I think that's just the point, is to really explore whatever architecture, whatever the ecosystem at our customers or prospects, whatever it looks like, and then figuring out how we can or cannot plug in. And the AI analyst, it can plug into almost anything, as can our intelligence platform. They're built just by their nature to plug in very quickly, and time to value is hours in the case of the AI analyst. So it's, um, the days where you had to have a 6-month implementation plan, those days are over.
Amazing. So I think we want to move on to some like AI industry stuff because you also have a good
Yep.
perspective over that. And I think in particular, you guys have a good kind of take on what's happening in zero click web. So first, can you explain what that is, and then maybe tell us a little more about what's happening there and how Actian is thinking about that.
Zero click is the idea, click through rate is the thing that marketers have in the digital era have relied upon, right? Do people click on the thing you want them to click on and take the next action? In the zero click world, where you're looking for an answer through search of some sort, the need to click to a website or to, that call to action that marketers are driving you toward, the need isn't there. AI overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, like what choose your poison, whichever you're using, can give you the answers. It can also provide the sources, so you can click and go to websites and search for yourselves. But a lot of people are finding what they need simply through those overviews,
Hmm.
reducing volume, traffic volume to websites, which for marketers, that's our storefront. So when it first came about 12, 18 months ago, zero click, when it became a bigger thing, panic ensued. But I think we've all tried to figure out how to compensate and how to deal in this new world.
And so Nilay Patel has done a bunch of work on this at The Verge, and I actually spoke to him, I don't know, more than 2 years ago, and was convinced that Google was being a little coy with it about how much traffic they actually sent because they didn't want to cause panic and all the all their publisher database and all that. And I think that Google's kind of finally taken the gloves off or the mask off, and they are just totally leaning into like AI is, it's the new thing, and the AI mode is being pushed. And so like zero click is actually here is kind of my belated point that I was trying to make here. Are you seeing that in your own marketing team? Are you seeing that there's just like maybe now we do get traffic from ChatGPT or whatnot? Or are you seeing Actian show up in the kind of GEO results? Is that something that you're able to see, or is it like this is we're flying blind in a way that we weren't before?
I mean, there's definitely new technology to allow you to look at visibility in the GEO or AEO world. So we use a technology called Profound that helps us manage our results in the AI world. We've definitely seen tremendous progress, but not anywhere near where I'd like to see us ultimately. But I'm always stretching, trying to go for more. It's just we haven't seen traffic to our website decline tremendously. I think we are seeing traffic come from the chat engine or the AI engines, so to speak. So chat, we get referrals regularly from chat, Perplexity, the others. Um, so we definitely see and track that. We're aware of writing. We're writing for machines as well as humans now. So we've taken that into account. Um, I also believe brand has never ever been more important than it is today, and sort of your reach as a brand is probably as important as it was 30 years ago when we didn't have all the digital. Uh, you
That
know,
was going to be my next question is like, what do we do? And it's brand, and you have to write for machines. So I've heard those two things. Is there a third item for like what marketers should be doing right now?
Well, I absolutely think brand is important, right? Showing up in places that aren't your own properties, those that have authority with the AI engines, super important. I've heard of companies, well, I read an article about a company that was creating two versions of their website, one for machines and one for humans. So I'm sort of toying with that idea in my own mind. And is that something we want to go down? Path we want to go down? It's very different, right? In terms of what you'd write for a machine versus how humans consume information. And I would say, like, embracing the idea, like, keywords less important today than sort of prompts and natural language. So thinking in terms of how people ask questions and addressing, uh, building content that addresses natural language as opposed to specific words. Those are maybe three things I'd focus on.
Well, I agree with you completely, and I will be applying it to my own marketing team. That's for sure.
I think at the end of the day, what's interesting is though you might not be getting the traffic from search engines as much, and maybe that's like pushing over to the chat, the interfaces. At the end of the day, I would assume, I'm like, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, it's still humans that are buying your services and technology. So they still need a website to go to understand what it is that Actian does and all the values that it can bring back to the organization. So it's not like that like totally evaporates.
No, in fact, I think you double down on what we've been doing for years. You just add a layer. It's like that yes and, right? Yes, we have to do all the things we've been doing, but humans are still the buyers. Although, 5 years, will that be the case? I don't know. But today
Yeah.
we have buying committees and people, especially in the enterprise, that make those decisions. So it's important that they know and understand you, and they will ultimately visit your website. Um, that's pretty
I,
proven,
I,
I think.
I think our closing question here is exactly related to that. Is how much money would you feel comfortable having AI spend on your behalf with no, yeah.
Ugh.
Is it $50? Is it $100,000 enterprise software?
Yeah, no, but I do see a world where there are orchestration layers where that will be a thing. So it was hard to imagine 5 years ago when the idea first came about to me, but today it's very imaginable. It's very realistic to think that machines will make a lot of buying decisions on your behalf, and you'll just validate. And I don't know how much I would be willing to wager. Not much today, but give it a year. Ask me again in a year.
Okay. Well, we'll have you back for in a year from now, and I'm sure everything will have changed. JJ, thank you for joining us. This is
Thank you,
fantastic
JJ.
and
Yeah.
a pleasure. And we'll be talking soon. Hopefully not a year from now.
It was really fun. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.